This video looks at something really basic, or you may call really serious errors that I observed in the recent Form 6 mock examination. These are some errors made by every generation of students, candidates for the DSE, which means no one has told them about these. And this video will look at these 4 areas. Number 1, correct procedure in the 1 hour and 15 minutes. 2, can one content point be used more than once? 3, for a letter, what if I don't know who exactly I'm writing to? And 4, in a letter, whose name shall I sign off with? And after that, we'll also look at some tips or good habits when doing this paper. Question 1. What is the correct procedure in the 1 hour and 15 minutes? In other words, what exactly are the steps? What do I do in the time given after the recording? How much time to look for the points? How much time to write each task? To answer that question, I would like to first show you some messy works of poor time management. This is crazy organization, crazy time management, and the worst thing is your craziness will make the marker crazy. In real life or workplace, this wouldn't be a problem because you have a computer, you can just type everything again, press the clear button. But sorry, this is an exam of writing on paper. You will get a 0 for organization and a very bad impression. Look at this student using footnotes like an academic essay, but the problem is still the same, adding something afterwards, messy, poorly organized. And using highlighters may look quite smart in 2 different colors, you see. But I have to tell you that in the DSE, your answer script will actually be scanned into black and white on the marker screen. So your color will actually disappear, your orange and green will become some gray or even black that looks dirty. So dealing with this part is very much like cooking 3 dishes within a very exciting time limit. Take a look at these 3 cookery videos. Look at their length. 客家酸菜魚 takes 10 minutes and 1 second. 栗子炆排骨 6 minutes 31 seconds. And 蝦乾金銀蒜蒸成瓜 9 minutes 51 seconds. That's quick, isn't it? So how is that possible? Assuming these are live videos, this is the real time. Or assume you are working in a commercial restaurant, this is the real time. Otherwise, your customers will go hungry, they can't wait too long. So the behind the screen preparation is key. In the real commercial Chinese kitchen, you have very good division of labor. You have this one guy who would exclusively prepare all the ingredients, spices, etc. before another guy does the cooking. Here's something I've learned on the internet. Listen.
當客人落柯打點菜後，一張張寫上餸菜名稱和枱號的小紙張，或稱作單，就會送到打荷的手上。打荷控制了全個廚房的節奏。打荷的荷字，源自荷字，意即控制流水的速度，令廚房暢順運作的意思。打荷收到單後，就會按菜式所需的食材和份量執碼，把原材料交給炒鑊師傅。
So the conclusion is,
先執碼，後炒鑊。
in English, we would say,
to cook like a pro, start with proper preparation.
so in terms of exam procedure, I myself would actually spend around 20 minutes doing the point hunting and classification. You may say that's a lot, but I'm telling you, if you could spend 10 minutes preparing for paper 4, an 8-minute discussion, why can't you spend a double 20 minutes preparing for paper 3, which is a 1-hour writing journey? This is perfectly reasonable. In terms of cooking, this is it. Pay attention, you are doing ingredient preparation for all 3 tasks, which is the most efficient. So once you turn on the fire, you don't go back. You don't go back and chop some garlic. Once you turn on the fire, you don't go back and look for some tomato. Or you're putting the whole kitchen on fire, you fool. So do spend some time on some decent preparation for task 8, task 9 and task 10 before you start cooking anything at all. Use a highlighter and label it. I would personally write T8, T9 or T10. When I'm done, cross it out. Sometimes you may even want to use 9A, 9B or 9C when the tasks are more complicated. It depends, but it is always worth it if you spend some good time doing the classification carefully, because the worst possible situation is like this page 2012, all three tasks information data appearing in the same extract, same page. If you're not doing the classification properly at the beginning, you're going to read this thing 3 times, which is a nightmare. Many of you are too excited or nervous and you dive right into the writing part immediately without collecting all the points for all 3 tasks. You say you are worried that you don't have enough time to complete all the 3 tasks. Well, this is irrational. If the only efficient way cannot help you complete all the 3 tasks, the wrong way will only make you do worse. You still cannot finish the 3 tasks. Your problem is you are too slow. And the wrong way will make you feel good, giving you an illusion that you are starting sooner than those around you. But trust me, you know your kitchen will also burn much sooner. Your whole kitchen will be on fire. Question 2. Can one content point be used more than once? In other words, I found highlighted a content point. Can I use it, reuse it, recycle it in 2 or even 3 tasks? Or maybe in the same one task, can it count twice like in 2 paragraphs or 2 parts? Is it possible? Well, my answer is it is possible, but it has never happened in the DSE as far as I can remember. In paper 1 reading, one same idea can usually get you more than 1 point. Maybe in multiple choice, fill in the blank, open-ended question, they may ask about the same main idea, the same theme. But in paper 3, this has never happened. Why reward you for getting the same point twice? Or why punish you for missing the same point twice? In other words, if garlic is for task 8, don't give it to task 9 or task 10, no matter how delicious garlic is. So you must make the decision of which exact task it is going to. Otherwise, what is relevant in task 8 will be irrelevant in task 9, and that means mark penalty and time wasted. So the answer to this question is no, not in the past, but the future is open. It is possible in the coming future, in this year. You never know, so keep your eyes open and stay alert. Question 3. In a letter, what if I don't know who exactly I'm writing to? In other words, what if I don't know the name I'm addressing? What do I do? To whom it may concern was a good choice. I said was because it is old-fashioned now. It is the equivalent of 敬啟者 in Chinese, but in English, sorry, old-fashioned. This one is a horror story, people without names. Creepy. But the solution is quite close.
Dear Sir Madam, yours faithfully or best regards.
I love recommending best regards to my students because it is semi-formal. That means informal, you can use it. Formal, you can use it. And you don't have to remember whether you know the name or not. Dear Mr. Chen, best regards. Dear Sir Madam, best regards. And how about a company name or like this, Dear Tech Inclusion Fund? Can I do that? In the real world, the real business conversation, you can always do some research, find out the name of your recipient. Or you can use the job title, the role, or the department, like Dear Hiring Manager, Dear Admissions Department. But unfortunately, I'm talking about the real world, the workplace situation here. In terms of the DSE, it seems that the marking scheme for so many years as I can observe still prefers Dear Sir or Madam. The last question is, in a letter, whose name shall I sign off with? Because you're doing the task for your boss assigns you the task. So who are you now? Your name or your boss's name? Well, this is actually a very good question because in reality, again, in the real commercial or political world, The people don't write their own letters, the people don't write their speeches. There is a team of ghost writers behind. In terms of the government, these could be the AOs or EOs. They don't sign their own name, they sign their boss's name, so all the credit goes to their bosses. But again, the DSE is not the reality. In this game, what I observed in the marking scheme for so many years is that just look at the situation, your own name, and who are you, that is your name. Don't let your boss steal your credit unless it is specified clearly in the data file. Of course, if it is a speech, you should call yourself the boss. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the boss. I am not my assistant. I am not a ghostwriter. So, to sum up this lesson, we have learned 4 things. Number 1, spend plenty of time classifying all points for all 3 tasks before cooking. 2. One content point is highly unlikely to be reused or recycled. 3. Use dear sir or madam for uncertain addressing. And 4. Sign off with your own name based on the page 2 situation. And now I'm sharing 2 hacks tackling this part, which I observed from some of my students. And the first one is you can skip a line between paragraphs. They asked you not to skip a line, but that is within paragraphs. When you start a new paragraph, you can skip a line. It's perfectly reasonable and there will be no punishment. Look at this example, it looks good and it looks good for the organization as well. Of course, another advantage is that when you later realize something is missing, you can come back and insert it in between more easily given the space. Of course, it wouldn't look best to insert things, and I hope it would never happen to you, but this is a contingency plan you would need. You never know. The second trick is you can actually use some very simple special effects to highlight or underline some special parts, for example a title or subheadings in a report or proposal. I don't recommend a highlighter or color pen because, as I said, your scripts will actually be scanned into black and white, so I'm not sure what your color pen or highlighter will look like. Maybe it will look like some messy, dirty, grey or black. Keep it simple, neat and tidy, just like this student. This exam is called Listening and Integrated Skills after all, not a visual art or computer graphic design exam. If you overdo it, it may feel like cheating and people don't like you for that.